me. Now, what most people don't know is this insidious machine had a more formal plan for Lindsay Lohan than many, and its name was Lou M. Taylor. Lou Taylor was a business manager based in Nashville at the time, the founder of TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group, and by 2008, Lou had maneuvered herself into Britney Spears' financial infrastructure. She cultivated a relationship with Britney's dad, Jamie Spears, and she helped, from public records and what we can see in court documents, the unconstitutional conservatorship that would control Britney Spears' life and money for at least 13 years and follow her for the rest of her life. The fallout from the weaponization of that conservatorship against Britney Spears is going to follow her for the rest of her life. Now, public documents would later reveal exchanges and emails between Jamie Spears, the dad, and Lou Taylor, discussing potential conservators, including Lou Taylor herself, even which judges would be most favorable to allowing the conservators to forcibly drug Britney Spears against her will. The Britney Spears conservatorship was granted in February 2008. But within 2 years, Lou Taylor had apparently identified her next target of this racket, in my opinion, innocent until proven guilty. By August 2010, while Lindsay Lohan was sentenced to 90 days in jail, Lou Taylor began working with Lindsay's mom, Dina Lohan. The plan, as later described in press statements and public reporting, was to approach Dina, establish that same close relationship that Lou had built with Jamie Spears, Britney's dad, and get Lindsay placed under a conservatorship while she was in rehab. So basically, the Britney playbook. And just like with Britney's case, this would all go down without Lindsay knowing anything about what was happening until her rights had been completely stolen out from under her. But there was one major difference between these two cases. See, Britney's dad was one of the conservators. He was totally in on the whole conservatorship plot, plan, and scheme. But Lindsay's dad, Michael Lohan, he wasn't exactly as cooperative with the whole team as Jamie Spears had been.
All right, so
he is her official representative. You are not. That's why he's talking.
I'm her father. Don't give me any shit, pal.
He's her official representative.
That's more important than anything.
That's why he's talking here.
No. You let go.
That's why he's here.
About my daughter?
He's talking here.
Go home. You've done enough damage. Leave my daughter alone and stay out of the press.
He's Michael.
You're a parasite.
So when Michael Lohan found out about Lou Taylor's conservatorship plot with Lindsay Lohan's mom, Michael Lohan went public. And he made a statement. Here's the statement.
When Lindsay was supposed to go into Morningstar rehab, they started to reconstruct everything there for Lindsay to accommodate her. Sean Chapman Holly, Sean and Lou Taylor leaked that to the press because they wanted Lindsay to get out sooner and have her in UCLA so she wouldn't spend much time in a rehab. They're destroying my daughter's life. I'm praying that Dina finally gets on the same page with me and does something about this.
Why are you so angry?
Why am I angry? My daughter's in jail. Let me tell you, quite honestly, I thought I'd rather be in jail rather than my daughter today. I thought I'd be eating a bologna sandwich for a violation of an order of protection.
Everybody's like, oh, he's speaking out for his daughter. No, not so fast. Because all that heroism was then going to go right out the window. Because then Michael Lohan himself would attempt to petition for a conservatorship over Lindsay in 2012. So basically, he just wanted to be the conservator. The man who had spent 5 years giving press interviews about his daughter's addiction, who appeared on Inside Edition one day after being released from prison for assault and DUI to publicly discuss her rehab stay. He was not trying to free her from this system. He was actually just trying to be the one who ran it. Now, I don't really know what happened between those 2 years, between 2010 and 2012. Maybe he really was against the conservatorship at first, but it kind of does take away a lot of that credibility and credit he would get because he then later wanted to put her in a conservatorship also, but just have him in charge of it. So at the end of the day, the main difference between Lindsay and Britney up till that point, it wasn't that Lindsay's family respected Lindsay's autonomy more. It actually was just that the people around Lindsay were too fractured and self-interested to coordinate their plan. Britney's family, managers, Lou Taylor, they were all pulling the same direction. But Lindsay's parents were pulling against each other, with Lindsay still in the middle. Britney got a conservatorship with legal documents, legal control, and a courtroom record, but Lindsay got more of a family civil war that played out in the tabloids with photographers waiting outside every hearing. Neither of them got protection. So while that was all going down, we all watched. Tens of millions of people clicked, Bought, watched the segments, subscribed to the blogs, laughed at the jokes. Us Weekly, People Magazine, Star Magazine, OK, TMZ, they were at peak print circulation during these exact years, and I guess TMZ didn't print anything, but the rest of them were printing at that time. And the celebrity downfall was not incidental to the circulation of those tabloids, it was the product. The tabloids created the downfall and then reported on the further downfall, like a racket. And in those late night shows, watched by, again, tens of millions of Americans every single weeknight, had decided Lindsay Lohan's personal crisis was also a reliable source of material. The jokes were easy to find, easy to write, easy to understand. What's harder to find, as I mentioned previously, is any record of these programs taking accountability or apologizing for the role they played in ruining and destroying people's entire lives. In 2025, Lindsay is kind of mid-comeback, and the Nightly in Australia did write this. Lohan became a cautionary tale for child stars, especially as anyone reading the magazines or clicking on those stories could shake their head and go, what a shame. She was so cute in The Parent Trap, while overlooking their own complicity in fueling the tabloid machinery. The machinery that they're referring to, it was never just the paparazzi, nor was it just Perez Hilton or TMZ or the New York Post or the Page Six. The machine couldn't run without an audience. It required people to buy those magazines at the checkout lane, to click the link, to forward the video, to say, with their attention, this is what they wanted. And so Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, and the rest of them, they become kind of like abstractions, but they are not abstractions. They are people. Lindsay Lohan is a person. She was a 20-year-old girl with, frankly, no adult protection, no institutional support, no platform to respond, because remember, this is an era before any celebrity could just come out and communicate directly with the public. Now, we see celebrities go on their Instagram or go live. This was not an era where that was happening yet. There's a photograph from 2004, taken the same year Mean Girls came out, of Lindsay Lohan on a sidewalk holding a disposable camera, and she's pointing it back at the paparazzi who was harassing her. She was 18 years old at the time. I think that picture could really be the entire thesis of this video in one image. And she would later comment, I wish someone could have been there to say, you're fine. Take your time, kid. She was trying, even at 18 years old, to show the disparity of power and dynamic between one lonely starlet and the entire machine. So eventually, Lindsay Lohan had enough, and she left. She left in 2014. She didn't put out too much press release. There was no farewell interview. She just up and left, moved to Dubai. Now, first she went from London, which she had tried as her first exit from Los Angeles, but she stopped being findable in that, city as much as she was findable in LA, but she still wanted more privacy. By 2013, her legal case had accumulated over 50 court hearings. She had appeared in person 20 times. The LA Times documented photographers.
I don't want fame like this, and I'm too old for it. Thank God I'm not some young, hot 22-year-old boy anymore, because it's because you just blow up and then everybody blows you out of the water and you can't handle it anymore. It kills most people, fame.
Lining the street outside
the... It doesn't kill them, excuse me. It just changes them fundamentally so they're not the same person anymore. Oh, sorry, I gotta scratch. Get off my shirt. Off my shirt. Yep. Not for you, kitty. I think I'll have some frozen fruits and play a Fortnite match. I will drop off of 7 Days to Die as I'm going to bed soon, and I will switch it back to just chatting, and I will play a game of Fortnite. Done. Okay.
The courthouse at every single court date. The BBC ran specific statistics in 2015 when her final probation hearing had closed. So before Lindsay was arrested, she had made or starred in 9 films, and had a combined gross income of $426 million. From her arrest onward, she was in 6 films, and 2 of them were in fewer than a dozen cinemas. And that was just the math. She was harmed, and her career was harmed by all of this negative press. So in 2014, she finally up and moves to Dubai.
What's making you a global hub as opposed to coming back home to the U.S.?
I really enjoy my serenity that I found while living in Dubai. One, it's illegal to have paparazzi. It's banned.
Like full-blown illegal.
Wow. So, also, it's not a country where you don't see people going to liquor stores and drinking and that kind of thing. You can go out and have fun, but it's a different kind of fun that you have. It's I just feel very safe. I have a very safe environment of people, and it's just a different, healthy. I mean, it's nice for me to come here, work. I have a lipstick beauty line coming out, which we'll discuss at some point. And so that's very exciting. So I can come here, do my work, and then go and look at everything and plan out how I want to plan it. So that when I'm here, it's work and family, and I really can just enjoy my time when I have my own time.
So who's holding you in Dubai? I see an engagement ring.
Oh, no, I'm doing jewelry line. This is
so much money.
This is my ring for myself.
She has so much money that she like flies internationally in between LA and Dubai all the time, which is insane. Do you own your own plane? It's just that reality is so economically infeasible for most of the world that it makes you look bad when you talk about it. It's insane. I'm not sure you're aware of it. I think you are. But I don't know, you seem to be so willing to talk about this. I wouldn't be this willing to talk about this.
So, who's the man?
I don't have a man.
And just to be very clear, Dubai is not a utopia. It has its own problems and issues, has its own legal system, its own complications. We're not really talking about that in this video, but maybe one day. Put one in the chat. You want me to talk about Dubai one day. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. We need to look right now today at the specific legal fact that Lindsay Lohan herself cited as the reason she left the United States and felt safe in Dubai. So eventually, while she's in Dubai, she meets this man named Bader Shamas at a restaurant. He was a finance professional. They got married in 2022, and they had a baby. The baby was born in July 2023.
Really?
She said to the Times UK in August 2025, quote, "I don't ever want my family to experience being chased by the paparazzi the way I was. Those were terrifying moments I had in my life. I have PTSD to the extreme from those things." The same year, this was 2025, she told Elle magazine, quote, "Even taking my son to the park in LA, I get stressed. I'm like, are there cameras? In Dubai, I get all of those things. The privacy, the peace, the space. I don't have to worry there. I feel safe. I get stressed taking my son to the park," she said. I think that's a pretty good description
they probably
of PTSD.
just smile and wave at her because they're not
so all the while
psychos.
she's in,
like, the people there are not psychos. Then I don't know. I think America, we like venerated being psycho for like the last 75 years, and I just don't think it's so good. One of my best friends, Cloud Candy, she said something like, and I forget the quote now. I used to know it by heart really well, but it's like, I've come to realize that acknowledging that what did she say? It was like acknowledging that trying to pretend that she wasn't soft in a world whose goal was to destroy all softness took her to a dark place. Trying to be soft in a world whose goal was to destroy all softness took her to a dark place. I never forgot when she told me that. I was like, that's an incredibly good, and I didn't quote it verbatim either. I mangled it, but that's the core ethos of what she said, though, and I never forgot it. I was like, yeah, like I made it my business to erase my softness all my life. Innocence, really. And it does take me to a dark place that I did that.
Dubai, like we mentioned, since 2014, but around 2021, something started to shift. The FX documentary Framing Britney Spears by the New York Times comes out. This examined how the media and the conservatorship system had collectively dismantled Britney Spears. And this documentary prompted a wave of retroactive cultural reckoning. People began to re-examine the 2000s, the coverage, the jokes, the shows, the clicks, the incentives. Perez Hilton, whose website had published thousands of sinister and nasty and maniacal and diabolical things about Lindsay Lohan, many of them sexual in nature, many of them speculating about her body and her sexuality without her consent. He then goes through a public apology tour. He said, "Oh, I was young. I was cruel. Oh, so sorry." Okay, the apology is noted, but what's also noted, Perez, is the apology did not come until the cultural consensus had already been done shifted. It did not come when it could have changed something. It did not come when it could have changed anything. It came when it cost him something to not say it. That's not accountability. It's really not even an apology. It's just adaptation, just like any other parasite or virus in nature. Lou Taylor resigned as Britney Spears' business manager in 2021 because she couldn't even handle the most basic form of accountability, which is transparency. You gotta wonder how Lou Taylor would have handled real pressure, like the kind Britney Spears lived under as a slave for over a decade. To date, Lou is still a very successful business manager. She hasn't been charged with any crimes, not that I'm saying she necessarily should. I'm not aware of any investigation into her. She literally stopped being Britney's manager because she couldn't handle the most basic form of accountability. Transparency. People being aware. That's my opinion. I mean, I wasn't in her head when she quit. I don't know why she quit. Maybe it was because Britney Spears decided she wasn't working no more. I don't know. But it seems to me like she was tucking tail and running and hiding from accountability. Now, the internet's own reckoning has been a little more nuanced and in some ways perhaps more honest. People who watched and laughed and clicked have had to sit with the fact they were not just neutral observers. They were rabid, hypnotized participants. Their attention was the currency that machine ran on, as well as their money, their clicks. Front page, November 2006. I think it might have been the New York Post. The one that cataloged Lindsay's underwear choices at age 20 was published. Millions of people read it. Nobody stopped the press. And if accountability is supposed to be real, not just, a trend, it also has to include a reckoning with what's actually changed or stayed the same since all of that happened. What structures remain in place that allow this to happen again? What's actually been reformed in how entertainment journalism operates? What legal protections do young performers have now that they didn't have in 2006? Lindsay said in the interview she did last year with the Times UK, quote, "We didn't have that back then. I don't think anyone chose that life. But what I've learned over time is how to separate my private life and public life. That was difficult for me because nobody ever teaches you how to do that. Nobody ever taught them how to do that." That is a sentence about the, I think, intentional absence of institutional infrastructure. This machine and its operators really only teach dependence on following orders. Anything else gets punished. In November 2022, Lindsay returned to screens in a Netflix Christmas movie. Now, I think this was probably a strategic choice, and it probably was pretty smart. Instead of putting her as the star of a major Hollywood blockbuster, they do a holiday film. And I liked it. I thought it was good. I like those Lindsay Lohan Christmas movies on Netflix. But this holiday film was kind of the genre that I think requires not as much from the lead, just warmth, a willingness to show up, be cute, play the role. There wasn't quite as much prestige on the line as a major blockbuster like Mean Girls or something like that. There wasn't as much vulnerability required. I think it was kind of like a test run for, introducing Lindsay back onto the scene, and it worked. Like I said, I liked it. I know some of y'all watched those movies and liked them. These movies were watched by tens of millions of people, and we were happy to see her. Then January 2024 rolls around, and Lindsay appeared at the premiere of the Mean Girls musical film. This is about 20 years after the original did come out in 2004. That's not a small thing. I think that was a big re-entry back onto the scene, but it required Lindsay to kind of go through a lot of self-reckoning and to build her own self-confidence back up. Then The next year after that, we get to August 2025. Freakier Friday opens. This is the sequel to the 2003 film with Jamie Lee Curtis. So I didn't mention this before, but this second adaptation of the film, Freakier Friday, it's kind of like a part 2 of Freaky Friday. It only got made because Jamie Lee Curtis had personally gone to Disney and argued for it. I thought that was kind of cute because she's kind of always been rooting for Lindsay. Anyway, Lindsay Lohan not only starred in Freakier Friday, last year it came out, but she also co-produced it, and it's kind of poetic. You know, she did end up having a seat at the table where she had been locked out of for 15 years. So earlier this year, March 2026, Lindsay does an interview, like I mentioned earlier, with Vogue Arabia. The helipad, she's like, I mean, it's so iconic. Look at her on this helipad of the Burj Al Arab, or whatever, how you say that. Sorry, no offense. I just don't know how to pronounce that. 212 meters above the city, where she had built her safe private life on her own terms. And the song that she chose for the behind the scenes video, the song she walked, I'm literally getting chills, good for her. The song she walked to that helipad to was her own song, Rumors, from her original album in 2004. The song Rumors was written about the paparazzi. It was written about the tabloids, about these sinister, disgusting men like Harvey Levin and Perez Hilton, who never faced any accountability for what they did to these young girls. The song Rumors is about being followed and watched and stalked and defined by people who did not know her. She was 17 years old when she recorded that song. Then today, she's 39, walking to the song, her own song, on her own terms, on this helipad of this luxury hotel in a country where photographing her without permission is a crime. So to Vogue Arabia, she said, "I wasn't having fun in the business anymore. I wasn't finding what I loved. It's a life I didn't want to live. It pushed me far away. I moved to the other side of the world, and I'm so glad I followed my gut." So in retrospect, she's been clear. In the Times, Vogue Arabia, Elle, she said that the paparazzi coverage overshadowed her work and her talent, and that was frustrating, and she wished that never happened. That same machine that consumed Lindsay between 2004 and 2008 was not an anomaly, and it was not an accident. It is and remains a system of abuse, a business model built on exploitation. And it is still alive and well, which is what we have been discussing in recent videos. Seems to me, it just has better cameras and a wider network now. And to Britney Spears, I would say, girl, if you really are free, you might want to get on a plane and go to Dubai for a little while, or take this game plan. You need to go somewhere like that for a little while, because it did seem to work out for Lindsay Lohan. I'll just say that. Free Britney. So if you enjoyed today's video, it does and can stand alone, but I really think that if you watched it without having first watched the Britney Spears Media Madness 1 hour and 47-minute long video that I put out the other day, you really should go and watch that one as well, because I really do go into granular, nuanced detail on exactly how the media did do this similar thing to Britney Spears year after year, era after era, when Britney would step out of line, when Britney would stay in line. And so this Lindsay Lohan video really is a continuation of that one. So please make sure you do go and watch that one. If you enjoyed this one, I really think that you will get a lot out of that one. And make sure you're subscribed and you got your notification bell on and you like the video and all of that, because I do have many more videos of this type coming very soon. That's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. And everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Don't contact anybody I mentioned in this video.
I want them to reach what they want. They want justice, and I am a justice person. These women, just because they're famous, they get turned into slaves, and yeah, we have more sympathy for them because they're famous. But honestly, there's slavery of your own making with like drugs and poverty and stuff like this, and then there's slavery like that where essentially the rich people just took control of their lives.
Video. Love you, Mina. Bye.
That's a little bit more, what's the word, egregious? It's like a little bit more egregious than just like poverty and drug addiction, that kind of thing. Ooh, I made a bunch of bandages. I don't know. I think I would like to take all and then try to combine. Yeah, so. I don't think I need to carry bandages if I'm using bandages, so I can probably put those away. But they will be good when I need to produce first aid bandages. I should carry 2 stacks just because in hardcore, if I wanted to carry 1 extra something, it would be bandages because I really might need them. Might die if I don't have them. If I can't dump them. So, let's pick another video. It's getting late. It's 1:15. I should have some frozen fruit and play some Fortnite. I've been winning every night, so I'm going to try and go and continue that vein. Right now is when everybody in the world is asleep, which is why I'm probably winning, but yeah. That's crazy. Let's do a rotten mango.
Bada bing, bada boo.
Ruth had a lot on her mind about this whole relationship. I mean, she was fine with the relationship. It's fine. She's fine. Brian, her boyfriend, is fine. But, like, really, what is fine? It's not love. It's not passion. It's just fine.
I'd shake your hand, but
Ruth had been thinking about this for a little bit of time. I mean, she just never got the chance to voice it out loud because how do you even begin to explain something like this? She could feel herself almost waiting for someone better to come along. I mean, deep down, she knew that Brian is just kind of a placeholder. He's not who she wants to be with in the long run. She feels like she could easily...
I've been in that situation before. Remember that word placeholder? That's like what I used that word about my XH when I was with Cloud Candy.
Find someone that's better than Brian, but she's just used to Brian because...
I wasn't Cloud Candy. I knew she was the right one for me. And she's not anymore, but she was at that time. We did date for a long time. In some form or another.
Because it's fine.
Advanced bellows, but I need 5 splints. That's a good deal. I'm gonna buy all 5 of those. Yep. And I need a pot for the cooking campfire, weapon flashlight mod. There's a weapon flashlight mod. I don't see. I don't see what I'm looking for at all, unfortunately. And so I guess I make do with what they have, which is water. I'll just buy water because I'd rather not worry about water and food, honestly.
All right, now that we're done doing business, or...
Oh wait, I need to see if you will give me a mission.
Get the hell out of my store. It's for real customers.
I think I turned in too late. I think I turned in today, and now I'm not going to have a mission all day. That's alright.
Ruth is sitting in front of Brian, just looking at him, and he looks anxious. His leg is bouncing up and down. It's like the nervous shakes, but he's quiet.
So I will run another Abyssal in the morning because it was kind of fun and get like, 10 mil. And I'll try and run like 5 of them. They're kind of stressful a little bit, but yeah. Level 1s, they're I think I should have ran level 2s or I'm sorry, tier 2s. These are tier 1s. So this is tier 1s. That's 3 tiers in actually, and that's pretty good. That's a high level of 1, but it didn't pay very well. Calm, agitated, exotic, filament, tranquil, agitated. This is a but we're looking for calm electrical filaments. Right? Or I don't know. Yeah, is that the one? Yeah. So I thought about 5 of the filaments that we needed, but apparently it used 3 of them. I remember now that I need more, so let's take this stuff to Jita. And I'll go grab that whole stack of filaments. I will come back here. But I will do that in the morning. I will log for now, and I will come back here to Itamo Percon Factory. There we go.
Quiet. He's not talking.
I need a sandbox, but one that I actually haven't done before. I don't know. Could go to No Man's Sky. They're getting bigger, but that's more of a space flight game than it is like a combat shooter like this. It's very slow. I'm only level 5 and I played all day, so it's kind of slow, the levels, and they'll only get slower. Yeah, I think I'm done with this for tonight. Yeah, because I have to get up in the morning, so we're going to load Fortnite for the last bit of what I do. Yeah, this was fun, though. And I will load Fortnite. There we are. And then I will go get some frozen fruit. I will be right back. I'm sorry, kitty. I got to move you. You ready? Stand up. Yep, sorry. Oh. Gotta get some frozen fruit. Good kitty. Sorry about that, buddy. I don't know how I know, but I know they're going to lose my crown. I don't know. I just have this feeling going into this that I can't keep this crown. We'll see, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can keep this crown. It's annoying. I've been winning too much. They're going to bring me down now. They're going to put me up against a bunch of nasty people, and I'm going to die. Watch. Out of the last 10 games, I won like 5 or something. That's too high. They're just gonna they're gonna put me against somebody higher, and I'm due. Frozen fruit is so good. Hi, beautiful kitty. Listen to that. I'll play Fortnite. I'm gonna lose my crown right quick too. Watch, probably right here. Oop. Wait, this is kind of a bad spot actually. Can I get back up? No, it's a bad spot. Put this on. Oh no, these are the same thing, huh? Yep. Okay. Need a real gun, damn it. Hurry up, you. No, drop it. Very good. Ooh, look at all the stuff he had. Rift to go might be better than this. Sprite. What's this thing do? Emoting or jamming replenishes shields. How is that replenishing shields? It's not. It's not. It's not working for me. Oh, perfect. Fucking perfect. Is there any in there? No. Wait, there's a machine, I guess. Yeah, there's machines. Let's see what is that? Oh, yeah, that's it. Ouchies. Sorries. Three down, 5 up. I hurt that guy pretty bad. I don't think I need the rift to go. There's a turret for some reason. Uchi's. If I didn't already have one, I would go for it. 5 down, 3 up, 2 left. Want their ammo. Come on, man. Assault rifle ammo. I know one of you guys got some. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so, ooh, that might be a pretty good gun to take, but no, I don't know. I think this is a better gun to take, but I don't know. You got anything better? I already have one. I don't know. I think that's best. What was that? Ooh. Did this asshole land? I don't really remember. There it is. There it is. Whatever. Best spot in the house. See if I can get with it. They're gonna pop soon. Right to me. Here they come. Here he is. Where is he? I will bounce out if he shows up in my personal space. Where did you go, asshole? I know you were there. Where'd you go? I just heard you. I know you were there. Two left. Oh. No, he'll go for that because he heard it. second place. Oh well, second place is okay. I should have just fought him. Good fight, Sleepy Diablo. Good fight. Second place, I'm okay with that. Try one more. Fuck. I took a crown in that one, but I didn't take the crown in that one because, yeah, I don't know. I just, that guy was just way more aggro than me. I knew I wasn't going to win this one, but at least I got a second place. It's the next best. Try again. One more.
He won't even look her in the eye. He's just waiting for Ruth to say something. I mean, isn't that why we're all here anyway? Didn't she want to tell him something? Ruth starts, and she admits, you know, she doesn't find him necessarily that smart. Okay, well, that's harsh, but she feels like he lacks ambition, and he's just, quote, he's just a taxi driver. The truth comes spilling out of Ruth. I mean, it's a painful ordeal. If you were to see this unfold and witness this whole conversation, you would cringe from the stress. It's just so uncomfy. If this is happening inside of a local coffee shop, I wouldn't even stay to listen. I would get up and leave because it's such a vulnerable conversation that's so much to take in. I don't want to be a part of it. But Brian, he can't just get up and walk away. Ruth is staring at him. But also, so are Ruth's parents. They're sitting right next to him, listening to all of this. They're watching this whole raw conversation go down.
So Ruth, boyfriend, and the parents are all sitting together.
And Brian looks up, and it feels like everyone is staring at him, just waiting for him to react. He can see the first row of people clearly. No one's moving, they're holding their breath, but somehow he can feel that they feel pity for him. He can almost see it in their body language. The lights are too bright, so he can't see all of their faces, but he can feel it. The second row of people, their faces are less clear, but from the body language, he can also feel that they feel pity for him. He's got a whole audience. He glances around at all of them, just sitting in their seats, staring at him, and no one wants to meet his eye. Like, they physically look away if he tries to look at them. The only thing staring back at him are the film cameras. He feels the studio lights and his neck is getting all sweaty. He can feel his cheeks go red. 100-something people just witnessed the most embarrassing, painful, pitiful moment of Brian's life in real time. His girlfriend telling him that she thinks she can do better than him. And soon, the cameramen are going to import the footage, edit it with some dramatic sound effects, and they're going to linger longer on his pain, emphasizing his hurt, his betrayal. And then soon, millions across the nation are going to watch this very moment. This is the moment of truth. Cue the theme music for the truth-telling reality TV show that Brian is on, where contestants win money for sharing their deepest, darkest secrets, and oftentimes illegal secrets even. The catch is that the contestant must bring their loved ones on and answer the questions truthfully in front of them.
Yeah, this was the show, right?
Yeah.
Is this still going on?
No, I don't think so, at least not in the US or in Peru, yeah. Now, Brian had found himself on stage with his 18-year-old girlfriend, Ruth, and her parents. All of them were forced to listen to Ruth's deepest, darkest confessions being exposed on national television. But some things are better left unsaid. Because one of her confessions would lead to Ruth's murder. Because there are people out there that cannot handle the truth. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the National Network to End Domestic Violence. NNEDV is a nonprofit dedicated to serving survivors of relational abuse and ending all relational violence around the world. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team of dedicated researchers and translators. And we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates of these causes. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. Now, a super brief disclaimer, we did have our professional Spanish translator on this case. However, they aren't as familiar with the Peruvian dialect. So as with any case, but especially the international ones, please let us know in the comments if anything was accidentally mistranslated or miscommunicated. Last thing to note, the media in this case refers to sex work as in a few direct quotes that will be said verbatim. So there's a reason for it, you'll soon find out. The terminology is not a reflection of the language used personally by me or the RM team and will only be stated as in direct quotes. So with that being said, let's get started. Do you know what a green hat slave is?
Green hat slave.
Yes, so there is a word for it in English. It's C-U-C-K-O-L-D. It's typically a man who enjoys watching his partner have intimate relations with another individual. In China, it's called a green hat slave because when a partner is cheating on someone, that person is wearing a green hat. So for example, if a man's wife is cheating on him, it's said that the man is wearing a green hat. But if you're a green hat slave, that means you know that your wife is cheating, you know that your husband is cheating, and you like it. You want more of it. You want them to cheat on you. The more traditional sentiment around relationships like this is the man, typically it's a man, I think there's different words for different genders, but typically the man in the relationship enjoys being humiliated. By being forced to watch his wife or his partner be satisfied by somebody else, it's a very demeaning experience. One person said, it is so complicated. Multiple emotions just layered over one another and it's pulling you in all these different directions. I felt sick to my stomach with anxiety, but also so excited to know all about the details of what my wife did with that partner later on. I would alternate between almost having a panic attack and then to being insanely excited, which, you know, all of it sounds a bit interesting, like a bit out there, right? But statistics show that up to 20% of men in the US fantasize about cheating wives. It's a very popular search term.
What?
Yeah.
20% of men thinking about their wife cheating on them?
Yeah, fantasize.
And they get like excited about that?
Yes, I'm sure that a good majority of that group do not ever act on it. But I guess it is like
an intrusive thought? Or
I think it goes a little bit more than intrusive thought. I think it was like the types of videos they watch, types of fantasies that they perhaps have.
Okay.
They say it's a complex symphony of emotions. They say that there's jealousy, shame, arousal, inadequacy, gratitude, lust. And so the first step of humiliation is to know that your wife or your partner is with another man. Then the next step would be to see it play out. Watch it, knowing that you're not a part of it, you're not involved unless they ask you to, that you can't just join them because you want to, you just have to sit and watch. Then the third step would be having others know what's going on.
like publicized.
Yes, that is the ultimate humiliation. Everybody knows that you're a green hat slave, and you almost get off on people looking at you with those eyes of like, oh, it's okay. It's gonna, ooh, I don't really, the pity, the embarrassment. Some people like that. So for people who enjoy this type of pleasure mixed in with humiliation, I guess it's understandable. I mean, I think many intimate activities are a thin balance of pleasure and pain, and I imagine that humiliation falls into the psychological pain aspect rather than like physical pain. And as long as it's between consenting adults, I think more power to you. It's great. Do whatever you want. But what about the people who experience this involuntarily?
Like being cheated on?
So publicly, and being called a which is a very demeaning term for most heterosexual men. They get green hat slaved without wanting to be. It happens to them, and they're just left with all that humiliation and none of the pleasure. Then what happens? There's a truth-telling reality show called Moment of Truth. There's actually a lot of versions of Moment of Truth. There's even Moment of Truth Korea, and I believe most of them, they're no longer in production, but it was remade by a ton of different countries, and each version of this reality show has a slightly different rules. But I'm just gonna go over the main ones that are pretty consistent across the board. This is how the game show works. There are 21 questions in total that you, the contestant, will be asked. The questions are going to be divided into 6 different levels. Each level, 1 through 6, has a grand monetary prize at the end. So you get to level 2, for example, and you win $10,000. Then you finish level 3 and you win $50,000. like that. And technically, as long as you don't lie, as long as you don't break any rules, you can decide to stop at the end of any of the levels. So for example, if you get to level 4 and you haven't broken any of the rules, there is no rule that forces you to keep going. You can walk away with whatever money that you've already accrued, and it's not like an all or nothing type of show. The money goes up per level, and so do the intensity of the questions, but you don't have to go to level 6.
But if you go to level 6 and then you lied, do you lose it all?
You lose it all. At any point, if you lie, you lose it all. Okay. At any point. In fact, it's actually unheard of to get to level 6. There's only one person in the entire history of the show in America that made it to level 6. And that whole season could not be aired because of what she exposed. Her last question for $500,000 was, do you believe that your father had intimate relations with a minor? And she answered yes. And the answer was proven to be correct.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that was level 6. The money does go up per level, and the intensity of the questions naturally also go up. So the first level, it actually consists mainly of social dilemma questions. Would you rather give food to a man without a home or a stray dog? It reveals a lot about your character, but it can almost be like dinner table conversations with a group of drunk friends. It doesn't reveal too many personal details of the contestants' lives. And this is done intentionally. It almost tricks the contestant to feeling at ease. Like, oh, this isn't that bad. I mean, I got this. Like, if it keeps going like this, we're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna walk away with a ton of money. And it just sucks them in deeper. But that is the whole point of the show. They're not supposed to have a good time. Then, as the levels progress, the questions start getting more and more invasive. And they're not even just personal questions. They're really, really specific, shameful questions that reveal the darkest secrets of the contestants' personal, family life, work life. These are the types of questions you would not admit to anybody. I would say across the board, most people wouldn't even admit to these questions if they got paid. And if you lie, once again, you forfeit all the prize money that you've won so far. It is psychologically incredibly invasive. And for those reasons, very difficult to win. But people keep trying. Peru is finally going to have its own version of the game show franchise, The Moment of Truth. The Peruvian version would actually be called The Value of Truth, hosted by the human wildfire of a man, Beto Ortiz. Yeah, okay, so that's how a lot of people describe him. He is this influential TV journalist. They say that he's a monster. So either you say that someone's a beast with a lot of respect, or you say it with a lot of hatred. That's Beto. Like, it's very hard to find him a neutral personality.
People don't like him?
People either love him or they absolutely despise every fiber of his being. But most people would agree that his casting for the show as the host, pretty on point. Some people said that he's like a human lie detector. He can spot bullshit from a mile away. And that little girl sitting in front of him for the premiere, the very first episode of The Value of Truth in Peru, does not smell like bullshit at all. In fact, she smells very normal. Honestly, even Beto was a little confused. 18-year-old Ruth? I mean, I'm sure she's nice, but what the hell is she doing on a show like this? She looks very normal, average college student. She's got shoulder-length brown hair, and she's smiley, but not overly extroverted or bubbly. Just smiley. Beto has seen a lot of people in his career, and the best way to describe the one sitting in front of him right now, Ruth, is just with one word. Average? She's pretty average. I mean, the way that he describes it is average. I mean, pretty, but nothing special. She's also a college student that works at one of those customer service call centers. I mean, what could she possibly have to hide? Which, you know, whatever. That's not his problem. He's just the host. That's the reality TV show producer's problem. If they cast the wrong contestant, that's on them. Beto waits for the studio audience to be given the cue to, you know, zip it because we're about to start filming. There's about 100 people in the live audience. The studio lights are beaming down from the top on him and Ruth. On camera, it's gonna look like this dimly lit, atmospheric little set, but in reality, there's a lot of lights that need to be on for it to look that good. It's for the aesthetics, but also, in reality shows, the heat of the studio lights. People don't expect it. It's almost like sitting under the sun. You're inside, the AC's pumping. Technically, you have no reason to be sweating, but the heat of the lights, if you've never been in the TV business, it's very uncomfortable. And that is exactly what they want to make a game show contestant feel. Uncomfortable. And they're filming. Beto looks over at Ruth, and suddenly he sees it. The minute that the cameras turn on, they start filming a small glimpse of why she was casted. The minute that they start in action, she seems to have almost this playful look in her eyes. Maybe she is hiding something. Beto looks at the cameras. Today, a Peruvian is 21 questions away from winning 50,000 sols in cash. Will there be any honest person left in Peru? It's time to find out the value of truth. The double doors open, like Shark Tank, open up, and an 18-year-old girl walks
to the stage. Good evening. Are you nervous, Ruth?
Yeah? Yes, a little, but it's normal, I imagine, to be nervous. Is there something you want to reveal to your family and loved ones today? Today? Yes. Very well. Are you ready to tell the truth in front of your family, to yourself, and all of Peru? Yes, I'm ready. Please, take a seat. She sits down on this red leather chair, and this is how it all starts. Ruth Thalia Sea Sanchez, university student studying computer science, call operator at a call center, 18 years old, lives with her parents. She's looking at her parents, who are sitting directly in front of her. This is interesting. The show's whole concept is to have the contestants bring in their closest loved ones and make them sit there and listen to the truth. You're being held hostage by the truth. Typically, 3 guests are allowed. Please introduce yourselves. We have Ruth's mom, Ruth's dad, and Ruth's boyfriend, Brian. The host also thinks that Brian is nothing special, by the way. I mean, he just looks so average. Kind, but again, average. Typical neighborhood boy trying to make it, driving those moto taxis. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're
going to pause this since it's 10 down, 3 up. Wish me luck, guys. I'm in the top 5 again. I'm the top 3. I don't know how I'll do here, but we'll see. There's a car. Where's this other guy? He's gonna be arriving behind me and I'm gonna get pinchered. Gotta get down where I have cover or something. No, I'm not falling. Car went that way. There's the car. Try and sneak up on him. I'd like to steal the car. That'd be alright with me. Nice. Where's this jackass? No, maybe the elevator. Shoot you, asshole. There you are. Just making the play for the car. I don't want that. Can't believe I hit him. Free hit. Got him! Yeah! Second place, first place, baby! Yeah, I'm gonna end on a win again! 3 nights in a row! This is a good way to stop. Shutting down all the games. Oh, yeah. You have been watching Skycatlive. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cat space to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Give me a like, sub, or follow. Twitch or YouTube. And this is a PayPal link. Click on the cat space if you like it. Skycat.live. And I am stopping this video now with a reminder that I record every session in its entirety, uncut and girthy. Uncut. And yeah, and so gonna post to my channel today's session in its entirety, and you can find that on my channel every day. Any session that you wish to see again, you can go through. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time. I will be back here tomorrow to play some more video games, but probably not till later, like later in the afternoon, because you know I got a busy ass real life day tomorrow. I got to go all over the place, and I got to do grocery shopping and stuff. So it's going to be a little while before I'm with you guys again, but it'll be like probably like 4 or 5 in the afternoon or something like that. But that's all right. And I love you guys. I will see you in a bit. I'm going to stop this recording, and I'm going to place all these videos on my channel.